Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over a little bit more strategic vision when it comes to implementing new technology and the capabilities of AI into your existing teams and processes. So there was a recent viral study from MIT that claims that it was found that 95% of AI pilots fail in businesses. But I dug into this study a little bit more and some other articles and research so that you don't have to. Now, in my research and taking into account my own experiences working with teams and organizations that are striving to be great, I found that what's really happening in these failed AI pilots can be broken down into 5 must-have AI implementation strategies to implement at work, with your clients, in your business, and in your own organization to have success. And number 5 might really surprise you, so stick around for that one. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer idea of what is actually causing businesses to fail with these artificial intelligence initiatives, and in general, you'll be able to be less susceptible to falling victim to the things that keep businesses and organizations from implementing new strategies and growing, whether you're a business owner, a consultant, or you're just plain curious. You'll get the mindset and perspective shifts you need to be successful in this rapidly changing business and AI landscape. So we're going to break down each strategy one by one, and I'm going to give you an example of an actual business that has used these strategies to successfully implement AI and this new tech to succeed. For me, I'm a visual learner, so I have some drawings and doodles I've made to help illustrate some of these principles that hopefully will be helpful to you. So feel free to screenshot and share with whoever you like. If you're new to the channel and don't know who I am, my name is Marshall Tootin, and I help business owners, avid learners, and consultants learn how to use the latest technology without having to have technical skills. And I've spent thousands of hours implementing new systems and tech into teams and organizations. So I share everything that I've gotten from my experience there and everything I'm learning with you on this channel. So if you want to hear more about my takeaways and experience and how it's being implemented in businesses today, give us a subscribe here and we'll see you more on the channel. Okay, so let's dive in. 5 make or break principles for successful AI integration in business. Here's number 1, mind the learning gap. So many companies simply just overestimate how easy it's going to be to put AI into the business because it's marketed as something that just plugs right in and just takes care of all of these problems. The thing is that a lot of the time teams and workflows and processes literally just aren't ready and they don't catch up with what you need to learn to properly implement these systems. So workflow challenges, what is currently happening in the business? A lot of the time it needs to get redesigned or changed for AI to work. And training deficiencies, people don't know how to use these tools, they don't know where they're being implemented, so adoption really lags and it increases mistakes and can be really frustrating. And also data problems. There's a lot of information, data that's needed to make AI work and to make these tools actually have an impact on your business. So how can you go ahead and actually counteract this? Well, here's a strategy and example. So the strategy is this. You need to trust your existing people and teams to take AI into their decision-making processes and repetitive tasks bit by bit so that they know how, where, and when AI can actually have an impact in what they're doing. So Salesforce is a real example. What they did is they took their own AI agent and built it into their CRM workflows to make suggestions to say, hey, this is the next action that you can take to make this process quicker. They also used it to summarize data and information so that their real people in their existing teams could be more effective. And that was a really, really good place to start implementing AI. The fact is this, right? Your happiness of your team and the ROI and business impact of AI is going to be directly correlated with your team's knowledge of where, how, and when the solutions are actually being implemented. So it's really important that your team, even if you have a small team, 1, 2 people, 20, 100 people, everybody who's involved needs to know where, how, and when AI is actually going to be able to play a role. And you start with small things, right? You start with these repetitive tasks. You start with how data is being handled. This is a really foundational step, just kind of educating your people on what's happening and why it's changing. Very, very key to take this into account. that anybody dealing with data or large amounts of information in your organization will be some of your most important people and systems to get on board from the very, very start. But it's a guarantee that if you can get your people from thinking, oh, this new AI, this tech, this chatbot, whatever it is, I don't know how it works, I don't know what it's doing, I don't know where it's going. If you stay there and you just think, oh, the AI will take care of itself, it'll work this out, it'll do this task, you are going to be limiting the impact that you're actually going to have, and your people aren't going to be as happy with it, right? They just won't be. Help them understand, and you're going to have more money, happier people, and just better processes overall. So let's go to number 2. Principle number 2, don't downplay leadership and culture. AI succeeds when leaders invest in people, set a visionary tone, and build a culture of collaboration. So the fact is that anything in leadership is going to have a massive impact on how something actually comes about, the results, right? So building AI champions within your organization, even if it's just one person, and giving opportunities for upskilling, learning systems, learning how to actually interact with AI and work cross-functionally, meaning that you can make this easier by choosing an AI champion and leaders in your organization to help build and maintain this vision. The reason we talk about AI champions is if you have something new happening in a business, if you expect an external organization or a single tech person in your company to be able to maintain the excitement and energy and vision around what's possible with AI, you're going to fail. You need to have visible leadership that is capable of helping you invest time and energy into your people so that they can work together to make these systems work, right? The idea of AI is that, oh, it's all done in your sleep without you having to do anything. Though this is true when you're really starting out and when you're implementing new things, you need your people to be on the same page together and to work together. So this means empowering existing teams to be efficient and use new methods and new technology, kind of like number 1 with the learning gap. Another example is you need to have opportunities for learning, right? You need to have opportunities for people in your organization to see how they can implement and create and use tools for their role. And also, really important here is to make sure your people are aware of how your customers and your clients are perceiving and seeing AI in the process. If your people are creating a good experience for your customers and you have processes that are doing that already, it's not wise to just toss AI into that mix because it can damage your brand. It can damage how people perceive your company dealing with customers if it's not done in an intentional way. So one of the best ways to do this is to have 1 or 2 people in your organization who are the AI champions, the people who see the vision, connect with the future that you want to see and the possibilities of new tech. And they're your go-to. People in your organization and different teams and departments can communicate with each other and that person to make sure you're aligned towards your business goals. So number 3, thoughtful problem selection. Real impact happens when AI projects target clear business needs, not just trendy tech uses. The best way to implement AI won't always seem the flashiest and most exciting. It's just a fact. You want to focus on pain points, right? Pain points that have measurable results. You want to reduce costs. You want to increase revenue, right? And strategic alignment. You want to align every project with your core business objectives. And sometimes the best ways to do that are not just directly that core business objective. Finally, you want to be able to track your KPIs. You want to be able to track them and have that in mind from day one. Because if you don't, then you could go months down the line and not actually know if you have an impactful tool or an impactful process that you've built. Here's our example. So Stitch Fix, which is a retail company, they used AI to analyze reviews and preferences and give personalized recommendations in order to boost retention and keep the technology focused on real value for the customer. The strategy to do this is to use AI's automation capabilities to take on the big priorities through repetitive tasks and workflows that make up the actual whole. When you're talking about problem selection, sales and marketing directly are not always your quickest and most impactful wins. The best ways you can win are in the ways that tackle repeatable tasks and kind of boring stuff, right? Operations, onboarding processes, research-based processes. Where is your team doing tons of research? This may seem unsexy, but it can yield really, really massive results. And one of the best ways to find one of these problems that you can start on is to address your core business objective through related objectives and related tasks. For example, if you're looking to increase revenue, right? You want to get more money from your sales process, right? Let's take an example of a retail or an e-commerce business. Simply by analyzing repeat purchases and using AI to reduce returns, understanding all the data behind those, where people buy products together, where and when they return products, and by analyzing the customer engagement, you can increase revenue. So when you get down into the nitty-gritty, repeat purchases and reducing returns are kind of not flashy, but they are literally going to have the biggest impact with the least amount of investment up front. So this is a great way for you to start implementing and finding the right problems to solve in the business. So let's go to number 4. You have to be willing to adapt legacy processes and systems. Old systems can hinder AI adoption. It's just true. They can be hard to change. They can eat up resources. So when we say old systems, we're referring to software, CRMs. It's the idea of, hey, we've always done it this way. We're going to continue to do it this way, right? We have to get out of those ruts to properly succeed in business. Otherwise, you're going to run into issues with actually integrating the tools, and you'll be draining resources, time, money, and energy trying to implement these things, and even having security risks up front, which can really jeopardize your brand and jeopardize your company in ways that you didn't expect. So here's an example. Goldman Sachs migrated their old trading technology by using AI to actually go in and look at the code and the process they already had to be able to suggest the next best steps to make better systems, to have it be more efficient. By doing this, they decreased manual tasks and development effort by 30%. So the strategy here is to start small and build up. You can augment your existing processes with AI, and by doing that, it's actually going to reveal more inefficiencies and possibilities for you to grow your systems and to shift them entirely so that they're better for the future, better for your customers. So let's dive into this a little bit more. Here's some don'ts for adopting AI into old systems and existing systems. 1, don't abruptly fire your entire call center. Don't remake all of your custom CRM system code from scratch. Don't think that AI will suddenly fix your workflows either. A lot of the time what actually happens is when you bring AI in, it starts to reveal what's not working a lot more than just making what's already there work better. Finally, don't dump all your important company information into an LLM like Claude or ChatGPT that's being connected to your system or any kind of automation tool. There's ways to go in and hack those processes and hack those systems that will literally compromise important information about your company. A lot of people don't know that. And now here's some do's for adapting old systems. Use AI to analyze current system weaknesses and suggest changes like Goldman Sachs did. Instead of going in and just changing it immediately, get some suggestions. See how AI can actually find the next best path forward given the goals that you have with the technology. You can train trusted teams how to prompt AI. Instead of saying, hey, let's just get rid of everybody in X or Y department or process, find the people that are doing the best and show them how to use the technology. And you're going to get way better ROI and a happier company and team doing that. The next thing is you can find quick wins that have immediate ROI potential. These quick wins are often very, very simple and focus on the tasks that your team actually already knows about. So you need them to help you figure those out. And then next, implementing AI as a brain to act as a consultant. This is an extremely underrated strategy. You can take AI and multiple different tools and platforms to create a brain of sorts that will actually help you understand what your next step could be and what your potential strategies are. And here's the thing, guys. When you hear these principles, It's really just the basics: leadership, good training, thoughtful implementation, focusing on key metrics, et cetera, et cetera. Seems like the basics because it is the basics. But what I found over the years and what I have actually done myself is that when new and flashy technology and opportunities come along, business owners tend to neglect the basic fundamentals in the name of speed. And yes, moving fast is important, don't get me wrong. But when you move so fast that you miss the foundations that will keep things going sustainably and grow over time, then you're putting the cart before the horse, as they say. Thankfully, though, you can have the best of both worlds, because here is number 5. Buying versus building makes all of the other principles easier and more effective. Companies win when they buy proven AI products and partner for expertise, not when you just build it alone, custom from the bottom up. This MIT study did show that purchased solutions were far more successful. 67% of purchased external solutions were successful versus 33% of internal systems failing because of a lack of skill, slow time frames, and over customizing every single little step. So the strategy here is that you want to get external expertise that can ask the right questions, see your workflows and processes from a different point of view, and help you implement them step by step in the most sustainable ways. When you have in-house custom AI systems, there's a lot that's attached to being able to make that successful. New departments, costly softwares and tools, a lot of dedicated staff, especially the bigger your organization gets. And if it's just you in your business, implementing these things, it takes time. It takes a lot of energy to learn and implement the tools. So it can be really slow, and integration can be poor at the beginning, which you really don't want to do, especially when you're dealing with your company, your brand, and your reputation. So think about using these gears, right? We come and we build all these gears from the ground up. We smelt the metal, we make the sizes, we do all this stuff, and we come and we plug it into our system. While it definitely can work, it comes at the expense of these things, even if you have a small company. Whereas if you can focus on actually pre-built platform solutions from people like myself and my team who build these things, and we make them for companies for these exact purposes, you can have all of the existing systems and technology that we know works, connects, and is going to empower your existing systems without you having to do all of the legwork. These are ready-made platforms. You can adopt new systems at your own pace based off of where your company's at and what you're trying to focus on. Problem selection becomes easier here too, because we're bringing some experience to the table of what we've seen work and where we've seen it have the biggest impact with the least amount of investment. It's quickly scalable, meaning that we can go ahead and say, hey, all of these gears that you were building, look, we can connect into our existing systems and tools just the way you would have done it, but way quicker and way more cost effective, and plug it into what we've got here going and building your system. And if you actually need this, we can help you with ongoing training of your people so that we can continue to make iterations and changes on the systems as time goes along and as your process gets more effective. So if you want to learn more about how AI and automations can have an impact on your revenue, your cost savings, and also just having a better performing business and team, fill out the link below in our description here and tell us a little bit more about your business and what you're hoping to accomplish. And my team and I will be able to help you find the quickest wins you need to jumpstart your business into this new technology and into the strategies that are necessary to make it impactful. So that's it for today, guys. If you found this valuable, please share it with somebody in your team or network who could also benefit. We'll see you next time.